So we're looking at the fees for your items that are selling on eBay. How much are you going to pay, and what's your cost of goods at the end of the day? Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at eBay fees. Now, I'm going to show you an item we sold. You'll see the price. We're going to go through and account for every penny of the fees we pay for eBay, everything that goes into it. Then we'll break it down, and I'm going to show you how to figure out a few other things. It's going to be some math, but if you want to know how to figure out your actual cost of goods, the percentage of your money you're blowing on fees, and to giving away to eBay, this is how to do it. So let's start with the item itself here. This is the actual item that was sold, and it sold for $25. That's what the person paid for it on a best offer. I have 4 more for sale. It was originally listed for $45. I do a 3x for pricing, so no big deal on the price whatsoever. Now, if you go to the Orders tab in your hub, you're going to go down to the item that you want to look at and just literally click on the Purchase Details option on the little drop-down menu. And this is basically what you're going to see. So the item itself sold for $25. I charged the buyer $5 for shipping. I don't pay for it. It comes out of their money as a separate basic kind of line item on there. And then there was $1.50 collected by eBay for sales tax. I don't see it. I don't get to keep it or anything else like that. The total amount that eBay processed fees for was $31.50, and that is the amount that eBay is going to hit you with for their final value fees. They are collecting the money. The fee is basically for the total amount processed through them. They are processing the money and then handling it out. Now, you can also look at the transaction detail page, and the transaction detail page goes into great detail on every aspect of the actual listing, where eBay takes money out, what they take it out for, and how much they're taking out of your listing. Now, one aspect on shipping, it says I collected $5 for shipping. When I actually go to ship it, it only costs me personally $3.67 to ship this package. I get a discount. If this person needed the package shipped straight through the post office, they would pay the $5 price. The discount is for me as a business shipping in, quantity or whatever you want to call it here. It only costs me $3.67. So at the end of the day, I get to keep $1.33 out of the shipping purchase. That is mine to keep to help me offset my fees, the final value fees that eBay collects. Now, there's 2 different trains of thoughts with how people figure out their fees on this. Now, I charge for shipping, so in that case, I'm not paying for it to begin with. It's not coming out of the item price itself. Now, other people will add it in as a $30 sale because shipping's included. So it really depends on how you're doing it. Since I don't pay shipping, I just want to know the item itself's basic values. How we handle shipping is it's just literally a column for expenses for the month. It's balanced out at the end of the month, it's balanced out in the quarter, and then it's balanced out at the end of the year. Any extra is considered profit for the item that was mailed with those fees. So I added into the actual money collected for the item. So depending on how you actually do and handle your shipping, your numbers may be different. We're going to go over both versions. In the $30 model, that's you again, including shipping in there, $30, you're going to subtract $3.67 out of that $30 to cover your postage. You're also going to have $3.70 that's going to be your actual fees. That's what eBay is actually totally charging you for this entire purchase, this entire sale. Now, I am a top-rated seller, and I get a discount of 10%. It would have been another 38 cents had I not had that discount. Between the money I get from postage, the extra $1.33, and this 38 cents, it saves me almost 45% in fees that I pay for eBay. So it's saving me some money. It lowers my costs down 45% or thereabouts. That can vary a little bit, but that's the basics on it. So any little bit helps. Some people say the top-rated seller discount isn't worth it. Well, that's 38 cents on one single sale of only 25 bucks. If this is a couple $100 sale, that number could be greatly increased. And if I did 30, 40, 50 of those types of sales a day, that number would be fairly decent. You multiply that times the 365 days in the year, and it's thousands of dollars of discounts you're getting by, getting the top-rated seller discounts. So that's the practicality of what it means to have the top-rated seller, plus your reputation in the whole works. So at the end of the day, I'm also paying about 1 single penny. It's actually less. It's actually 9/10 of 1 cent I pay for my monthly fee. I have an anchor store, and that anchor store is basically $300, and I have 30,000 listings up right now, so that's 1 cent. So I'm going to actually pay that as well. So that's all the fees that I'm paying to eBay totally for anything in this model. Again, the $30 model. At the end of the day, I'm left with $22.62 that comes down outside of eBay. That's a 25% cost of goods basically in there. Again, we're including the shipping in this as part of the purchase itself. That's one model. That's what most people do. Now, I personally use the fee for only the item itself. I don't pay for postage. Somebody else is doing that. That's between them technically and the bank. I'm just a third-party person who takes their money, purchases it, and then I keep the rest of it for my time and effort to do that. Again, I get a discount. They don't because they're not a business, and it's a discount. I'm not ripping anybody off. I'm using it just to offset mine. So I've got the same basic fees other than shipping isn't coming out of here. Shipping goes to a different spot in my P&L breakdown. I don't worry about it included in the item the way I do it because shipping's always charged extra. So at the end of the day, after the fees, I've got $21.29. Plus, I'm making an additional $1.33 for the money I saved through using eBay to ship my labels over that $5. So my cost is the same cost above. It's $22.62, of course. So it brings my costs of goods sold, basically, the amount of fees coming out from eBay, down to about 10%. Now, it's up to you on how you do the math. To me, the shipping shouldn't be included in the item itself because that is billed to somebody else. I'm just a middleman, technically. The item itself, I got 25 bucks for. I didn't technically sell it for 30 bucks. I sold it for 25 bucks. So that's the way I personally do it. The shipping cost is completely separate to the actual item being sold. That's how I look at it. Again, it means a difference in only the cost of goods, how you calculate that difference in there. If you sold it for 30 bucks, you've got far more fees because you're deducting the shipping costs out of it, $3.67. So your costs may be higher. Again, I don't think of it that way. I don't do inventory the way most people do, so I'm doing it by the book, $25 the item sold for. The shipping is a cost of doing business basically that somebody else is paying. So that's my breakdown on that aspect of it. Now let's say you want to figure out the total cost of that item, the total cost, your expenses and everything else. So the cost of goods sold, you've got the $25 that the item sold for. We're just going to deduct the standardized $2.38 total eBay fees. Again, that's because I can deduct that $1.33 from there, and it brings it down from the $3.70 to $2.38. The purchase price of the item, let's just say I spent $1. I don't have anything into it because it was a big bulk purchase. It's long been paid for, but let's simplify it and just say I paid $1 for it. That brings my total money brought down to the bottom line to $21.62. That's 86.5% profit less income tax. I still have to pay income tax on this as well. It's not some huge super number, so we're not going to figure that into here. Most companies wouldn't do that anyway. It's your profit margin at the end of the year and such forth. So basically 13.5 cents of every dollar that we get is going out for fees. Now, let's say you had labor. How would you figure out labor on something? Well, let's do a real quick labor breakdown. Now, let's just say I pay somebody $15 per hour. I know there's workman's comp and all the other stuff. There's a couple dollars more in taxes, but we're just going to say $15 an hour. We just want to figure out the overall amount of costs per hour to list one single item. It may be another 10 cents or whatever at the end of the day because of workman's comp and all. But all you really have to do is to figure out how many items they can list. With this item here, which is a button, they can do 30 of them in an hour. That's listing and photoing those 30 buttons front and back. 2 photos. So if you divide 15 by 30, that's 50 cents per item. Now, if we add labor into there, as I said, it's about 15.5 cents per dollar we have to pay out to sell that item. Now, obviously, this is going to be different if you've invested a lot more into the item. So you may only be making $5, $10. But that is how we figure out the cost of goods. I don't include the shipping cost, as I showed you. It's the flat $25. And then I break it off from there. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Here's Leggy with today's high fashion look.
I love you, Leggy.
Leggy Jill, Leggy Nan,
Leggy.
Leggy Kate, and Leggy Sue.
We love you true.
Leggy means high fashion with a kick.
Leggy.
Leggy means a dynamite look.
We love you, Leggy.
There's a kick in today's high fashion look with
Leggy Jill, Leggy Sue, Leggy Kate, and Nan, too, we love you.
Leggy, 4 different dolls, each with their own costume, each sold separately.